Alright, I have a really important question to start off the day. It's been bothering me for a while now.
Yeah,
now,
what has happened in this whole game so far? Because fuck
no,
you.
No, that makes perfect sense to me. I don't know why that seems to be a constant struggle for you. My question is it more appropriate to say that I have an axe to grind or a bone to pick? Because I'm a skeleton holding a, 6-foot-tall axe.
This is a good question. I think axe to grind because you are actually grinding that axe on the floor.
You don't think I could be picking some bones? Why does that sound gross? Pick is just like a horrible verb. I hate the expression, pick your brain. I hate that shit.
Oh, you did it? No.
Esa cosa is heavy.
Alright, I gotta be honest. I remember this axe super vaguely. It's the kind of remember that happens when it's you see the thing, you're like, oh, right. Giant axe. I don't remember what the absolute fuck I'm supposed to do with it.
This game is like a Simpsons episode.
Explain.
So, people
also,
don't
see if you can work in a recap.
These must be very, very
in your explanation.
There we
go, we finally got there.
Yeah. But the Simpsons episodes start very differently than how they end. There are very few Simpsons episodes that introduce a concept.
Or did that develop over time?
I mean, it might have started in season 2 or 3. I mean, season 1 and 2 are very different from the rest of the show.
Yes, this happens a lot for long-running shows.
Yeah. So, but generally, it's true that a Simpsons episode is it starts out one way, and in some really convoluted fucking way, you end up somewhere completely different. This game is just one never-ending Simpsons episode, where some crazy shit happens, and then some crazier shit happens, and we don't know where the hell we are.
When you put it that way, that actually makes a lot of sense. I wasn't.
They're all locked up.
His comment implies, at least to me, that he attempted to open it and it failed.
They're all locked up.
Which is weird you couldn't see him trying.
That I agree with. Can I pick these up?
They're all locked up. These must be very.
I think they're very sensitive coral harvest reports.
It's possible that they're very sensitive coral harvest reports.
By the way, viewers, you can't hear it, but I have a dog. That's his collar jingling. He is the good dog.
Does your dog like it when you jingle his collar? Is that a thing he's okay with?
He didn't seem to care. Oh, he's perking up right now. Something interesting is happening. Well, maybe not.
Well, yeah, I'm dragging this giant axe around.
The
controls, as you would expect, are garbage.
Of course. What do we do with this axe?
I don't think I can actually move the axe any further out of the room than this. This is the thing I'm trying to do, and it looks like there's a hard, invisible wall.
Well, my thought then is the only thing you can do with the axe is hit the statue with it.
I kind of already tried that. I don't know if there's a better, That's interesting. So if you press the, pick up for inventory button, he will just, gingerly pick up or put down the axe. If you press the, action button, he'll do... I tried to do this before. Let's see what it does now. This.
Can you physically just run the axe into the armor?
I mean, I don't think that does anything. I feel like I was already kind of doing that.
Is the edge of the world right there?
Pretty much. Best I can tell, anyway. Again, the controls make it a little hard to know exactly what I can do. I appreciate the fact that, it feels like I'm moving a giant axe around, and thus is very cumbersome and whatnot. That is appropriate. However, in terms of video game controls, boy, does it sure make the puzzle solving feel, worse.
How much do you love this axe?
Well, again, I ask, bone to pick or axe to grind?
Yeah. It's not going great.
See, the thing I don't like about it is that it's not so much he hurls it a short distance and the weight would presumably do something. He kind of just drops it in dramatic fashion, which kind of makes it unclear as to whether or not... the axe must do something, right? It's absurd that it would exist if it didn't. How about, right in the middle? Is this, a secret platform or something? Do I need to get slightly further? Oh, God. Sure is the thing. Where's that dog holding up?
It just seems weird that they would put in these two elements by themselves and that they can't be used together. No, Doggo, don't go away. Stay with me.
Back ride.
Problem with Dog is Dog has its own free will and will not do what you want it to do.
You want a piece of calavera suit?
Ah, that's awesome. Can you interact with the door in any way?
Mess up my blade.
I don't know
It's the
exactly
only
what
other
I'd
thing in the
expect it
room.
to do. I mean, yeah, other than these very sensitive harvest reports.
Uh-oh. Oh, Raul. I am so sorry.
Ooh, who's Raul?
No. Electrical current makes my marrow tingle.
Did you just lock yourself in the room?
Well, yeah, that's what happens when I push the giant vault door. Clearly,
Alright,
it's
well-
not a problem because this isn't a Sierra game, but, I mean, just for the record, that was your recommendation.
Yeah, fair point. Can you use the axe in some way to do something to the door?
I don't know, man. What does the axe do? I don't remember. I have a bunch of, like, tools in my inventory, which is an interesting state to be in.
Oh.
Oh, bite
but-
me. How?
Why is that door closed?
Bullshit.
It was the only way the wind?
Oh.
Well, I got my scythe out. Rock out with your scythe. Oh, seriously?
Hey,
Okay.
this is my room. Go use up the air in your own room.
It's not really how
Air?
air works.
You don't have lungs.
This seems to be a continued sticking point for you.
Also, like, he doesn't have muscles, so why does he care about how heavy that... Like, how is it determined what weight one can lift? Right? Doggo,
I mean,
these are
that I'll
things I
agree
want
is
to
a
know.
good question. But I would maintain, we've had this discussion numerous times, and I still maintain, if your body becomes sufficiently destroyed, that constitutes dead in the Mexican afterlife as imagined by Tim Schafer. And
No,
thus,
I get that.
If you lifted the axe and, like, you know, shattered your whole leg off, you'd mind it.
Right, no, but my
What's in
question
these
is like, what
Take a
determines
look.
how strong his ability to lift the axe is?
It's all the double
right?
end tickets Hector
Well,
and
that's a
Dom
separate
stolen
question,
over
and
the
I agree
years.
with that.
Each one stolen from a good
that is
soul,
unclear
and
at
now they
best.
just sit there.
That's it.
What?
They just
What's it?
sit there. That's what's been bothering me. In the days when I was a hot salesman, I used to see double-end tickets all the time, and they move.
What do you mean they move?
They become agitated around human souls, and the ticket that belongs to you will actually fly into your hand. But these tickets,
What?
and the tickets in that suitcase of Charlie's, it's like they're dead. Why would Hector and Domino be hoarding cases of counterfeit double-end tickets?
I mean, maybe they're not counterfeit. Maybe they're just not near their soul.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like the obvious answer. I don't... So, like, I like the idea of this mystery, but I feel like we fell short in establishing these important rules to understanding and, like, following along with it early on when we were still sort of in the business, you know?
Right.
Thanks for not shooting me.
Look, I'm sorry. I should have trusted you. It's just that the past 2 years have been pretty tough, you know?
Oh, I figured there'd be dialogue at some point there. That seemed like a real question, not a rhetorical
I couldn't reach
one.
that vent, even if I stood on Mitch's shoulders.
Wouldn't it make more sense for me to stand on your shoulders anyway?
Are you kidding?
But I'm the
Look at
protagonist.
your heels.
I mean... Maybe I could, like... get down or something?
I couldn't even reach it with that.
Isn't that literally
Our
impossible to believe?
relationship has moved beyond that.
That's pretty good. I like
I
that.
couldn't even reach it with that.
I got excited. It looked like you had done something.
Nah, just put it away. Does this not do anything? Can I pick it up?
Not
Boy.
picking that up.
What about all those pipes up there? Can you, like, use one
It
of them?
does seem
Can you, like, put one of
relevant.
them down? Oh, the doggo's leaving me. Goodbye, doggo. I love you so much.
Is the doggo returning to his home planet, which needs him?
Yeah, his home planet, as in the comfy orange chair in the living room with a blanket on it. Why? Have we used the axe for anything? Why is it there?
No, we haven't. It may be a red herring brand axe.
Yeah, see, he keeps looking up. Yeah.
I mean, he looks at everything.
That was relevant.
Exactly sure.
That was something,
description
right?
of what you think that is.
that
Yeah, that was something. So all he... See, that feels like an unhelpful cue from the game to be like, I can't reach that high, instead of like, if I could reach that high, I could solve a problem.
Now, all we have to do is wait for the room to fill up, and we'll just float on out of here. Well,
How
this
is
is
this real?
disappointing.
Not to me. We don't float, remember?
Well, this is disappointing. It's such a phantom. Why is there not a trophy for that line? Also, what does she mean that we don't float? Did we all eat the brook fruit
Why would
resurrection
Hector and Domino
thing?
be holding cases of counterfeit double-in tickets?
Can you break that try hitting that sprinkler with your scythe.
The one that's active? I mean, that we did that in the first game.
Oh,
More
not
water?
again.
No. Didn't really seem to do anything.
Huh.
I couldn't even reach it with that.
I kind of feel like the bus doll is probably good for something here. I just don't know what. Can I, like, look at
Yeah.
her? Why is he only looking at the thing?
What happens when you turn it off?
Good question. Oh. Oh. Wait a minute. How are we not...
There's a drain.
There's clearly some kind of drain that's super important. How is that not a hotspot that he's, like, staring at and talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, do I have to... No, I can't bring the axe in here, right?
Bust all the blue tile.
I don't think it's the blue. I think it's this one I'm standing on now, I think.
I can't reach that high.
You joking? Like, what the heck?
Try the blue
Seems
tile.
insane.
It looked like the blue tile to me.
Well, but the problem is, I'm not looking down, ever.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I
I can't
can,
reach that high.
if I can get him to not look at that, I can just, like, bust all straight forward all day long. But if he's not looking down at something, he's not going to interact down. Can I just, like...
I don't want to bust all that.
Sure you do.
Can you hit it with the axe? Can you not bring the axe in
Oh,
this room?
not again.
I don't believe I can. I've tried. I mean, it's a little hard to tell with, like... It's kind of difficult to get into that room. Can I, like, maybe push it forward? No, it doesn't seem like... It really doesn't seem like it wants me to bring it in there, even though it feels like I should be able to do that. I mean, unless... That wouldn't work either.
You can't back up into that door with the whole thing in the...
No, it's just blank wall, man. What the heck?
Really?
I'm trying as hard as I can.
I
Like,
believe
even
you.
if you find a walkthrough and it tells me that's what I'm supposed to do, I'm telling you I can't make it do that.
I mean, maybe the statue? Can you interact with the statue and, like, bring it in there?
I can interact with the statue, kind of, but, like, I don't think I can move it.
Definitely not my size. Doesn't look like he'd enjoy a piggyback
I
ride.
tried axing it. When I do the scythe, he just sort of, like, makes fun of it.
I think that would just bring the whole ugly thing
do it from,
crashing
like, the
down on
side,
me. I
then?
think that
No.
would just bring the whole ugly thing crashing down on me.
I mean, the weird thing is, if you think about it, the thing we should be doing isn't finding the drain. Well, I suppose it's finding the drain, but plugging it rather than, like, opening it, which is, I think, both of our natural instinct here.
Well, she said you don't float, so maybe the answer
Why would
isn't to
Hector
swim.
and
Maybe you
Domino
can just
be
climb
holding
down the
cases of
drain?
Counterfeit double-in tickets.
Guess that's possible.
I mean, it would
I mean,
have to be
either
like
way-
the size of that whole tile, but...
Right,
Why
but,
would
like,
Hector and Domino be...
doesn't seem like that's exactly out of the question.
I can't reach that high. I couldn't reach that bent, even if I stood on Mitch's shoulders.
It's dumb that the boss doll isn't the solution to this problem.
It feels like it should be the solution to
I
this
couldn't
problem.
even reach
Or
it
if
with
not, that the axe, which it won't let us bring in here.
I don't want to mess up my blade.
That's like a age-old adventure game problem, is when they like
Oh, not again.
give you a tool or something that's like so good at solving problems that like it should be the solution to another problem that it isn't the solution to, and then you're just like, well, why wouldn't that be the solution to that?
Yeah, right.
Man, I don't get it. Well, I mean, here's an insane and unhelpful thought.
Yeah.
I don't think that would shed any light on things. I don't think that
I was
would
gonna
shed
try
any
and
light
like
on
close
things.
the door to the room
Yeah.
so that it, like, not that
So that
that's
it
where the
can fill
water's
up.
getting out of, but like eventually.
Right.
I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I feel like the axe has to be a solution to a
I couldn't
problem
reach
in
that
here. If
bend,
the plan is to
even if
escape
I
now,
tried
the
to
axe has
shoot
to be
it.
useful, right? Like, would they really
would
just
head
put
to
such a
Domino
weird
before
thing
you
in the
case
room
the
that doesn't
counterfeit
do
double
anything?
tickets.
I don't. Have we
It's
encountered
possible,
any item
but
in
it
this
feels
game yet
really
that doesn't do anything?
unlikely. Like, I mean, the especially weird thing is that it's not like properly an inventory item, which makes it even more of a gray area, really.
Right.
It's also one of those things where, like, if I could just easily, like, move around with the axe and thus, like, have a better understanding of, like, the boundaries of what I can and can't do with it, it feels a lot more certain that I, like, can or can't bring it into this room and can or can't use it as a solution to something.
Yeah.
As it is, like, I can move it around, but, like, it's so weird to move around, and, like, the hitboxes for going into the room is weird, and, like,
Yeah.
it
Try,
really doesn't seem
try
like
to-
I can bring it in there.
Try walking further up towards those, that way, and then try going into the room. Maybe you're just too far to the right.
I think so.
I mean, I think you gotta walk backwards. I don't think the point is for you to walk forwards. Yeah, like
I
that.
mean, like, I was
and then-
already, like, at as far as...
Oh! Yeah, there was just
Ow.
a hole that you had to find, apparently.
But, like, oh, God, what is, like... So, like, this is...
What?
I broke the drain, and somehow all the water is gone.
After
Oh.
you,
What about
You
the
were right. It was
suitcases?
in the white tile, not the blue
forget
one.
them. They're counterfeit. They wouldn't fit through this hole anyway. Let's go.
Wouldn't fit through the hole anyway. I don't think that's how that works.
Well, that was stupid.
Dolores, I'm so glad to see you.
So, like, it's frustrating because that's a clear example of, like,
Let's go eat some meat.
we wanted to use the axe, but the game made
Right.
it so difficult to use the axe that it feels like it doesn't want us to use the axe.
Yeah.
And
Oh man, are we leaving this place?
I think so. I mean, my biggest overall problem, I think, is that this really doesn't feel like a remaster at all. I've played a lot of remasters at this point. Everyone and their grandmother is making remasters of games I played when I was a teenager. And,
Yeah.
like, the cutscenes are slightly higher resolution, and other than that, the game is just as janky as it was back in the day. And the controls
Yeah.
were the biggest problem with it.
Spend all this time trying to find me.
Meche, I needed to find you.
There's a little something going on in the background.
Oh, that seems bad.
It's the octopus submarine.
I give you one job, Manny, and look at you, already screwing it up.
Oh boy.
Boss fight?
I suppose you realize that this is
What if this game
gonna
just
go
suddenly
down
turned
on
into
your
like a
permanent
really
record.
unforgiving Dark Souls clone?
I think it's more like a really intense, like, fighting game.
Yeah.
I can't even think of what I would expect the most intense fighting game to be.
This doesn't look good.
So,
for
by
the
nature
kid.
of adventure game logic, the
not gonna
solution
work
will
with
not be
Oh, don't
to fight
worry
him head
about
on.
that. You're
No,
fine.
definitely not.
Just consider this your severance.
So, like, I think I
The thing
probably
is
have
looking
to, like,
at you.
yeah.
Yeah, that was my thought too.
I don't believe you, Calavera. You're losing a fight, so you pick on one of my pets? Why
See, he hit his head on that metal thing, which hurt
Manny?
because he wasn't
I've
a
been
skeleton.
trying to
Wait a
show you
minute.
how much you don't listen. If you just had done
Jesus.
See, in that case, I think it's pretty clear that he's dead.
That was brutal.
It's Pugsy and BB. Their purpose was to save us. Thank you for existing, small angels. You think our scythe is still alive?
Is that game over?
No. It's year 3 of 4.
So we have 1 more year left.
Mm-hmm. But the last one was pretty short. It was just really
Yeah.
arduous. It was like just by far the least pleasant year so far. Yeah, I remember this better than year 3, but not by a lot.
This looks bleak.
Well, we went to Russia, obviously.
Obviously. Oh, but now Mexico.
We learned all about communism back in Rubacava. We have to apply it now. We're gonna start our own government.
Pugsy Poligiano, sir.
Waiting room number 2. Next.
That guy's famous, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Glorious!
Why wait? Have a Snickers. God dang it.
What?
Glottis, where'd you go?
Oh, you got a
this
black
time?
square.
It's the year 3 trophy. And next time, we will figure out if Gladys is really dead this time. He's really good at being fake dead.
He is really good at that. See you then. They're rich people?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this is the train that the tickets are good for. But the strange thing is, like, they establish that you can walk your way to the, like, super afterlife. Oh, interesting. I'd forgotten this.
Oh shit.
But so, like, if you can, like, air quotes, legally walk your way into the afterlife, then it shouldn't matter if you have tickets or not when you walk up to the front door, right?
Yeah.
So
Alright, well,
you don't
he's
have
dead
anything
now, I
to say about that? It's just like...
What happened to that train?
Your destiny cannot be purchased.